today I wanted to talk to you about the full moon in Aries. And I wanted to just share some information about where the planets are during this full moon and how it is affecting us. And then I also wanted to talk about how um, the full moon, and this can apply to actually any um, planet where it is right now in the sky, is going to affect each individual differently because we all have different birth charts. Um, so anyway, that's the basic of it, and I think we'll just jump right in. So we had a full moon last night. It actually was early this morning, so it's still in effect. Um, and the full moon is in Aries, and um, what's important to realize is that with every full moon, there's an opposition to the sun. So essentially the sun is going to be um, on the complete opposite side and in the complete opposite sign in the zodiac than the moon is. Okay, so that's what makes it actually a full moon. Um, is that the sun is in opposition to the moon and therefore like fully illuminating the face of the moon that we can see. So every single full moon, there's an opposition to the sun. And likewise, every new moon, the sun and the moon are in conjunction, meaning they are in the same sign. So they're on the same side together. So, in addition to the sun being in Libra, the opposite sign of Aries, in addition to this opposition, we also have Mercury in Libra with the sun, not in a tight conjunction, but still in the same sign. And then we also have Mars, actually, which is the ruler of Aries, in a pretty close conjunction with the sun. So this makes this quite a polarizing full moon, you guys, because the ruler of Aries is in opposition to its own sign. Um, and then we have Mercury thrown in there, the planet of communication. So, and, thinking and the intellect. So there's going to be, or there has been, basically this huge polarizing energy. And let me explain to you about the Libra Aries dynamic. So, Aries, like I was just saying, is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the god of war. So, the energy of Mars is um, divisive, combative, aggressive, brave, um, confident, right? And it's very confrontational. Um, it's very direct. Okay, does not beat around the bush. Does not does not like Mars is very very brave and very bold. Okay, let's just say that. And then Libra, on the other hand, is ruled by Venus. And the primary energy of Venus is bringing together. So it's magneticism and it's healing and it's love and it's the type of, it's about attraction and it's about harmony and balance. So Mars doesn't really care about like harmony or balance. Mars cares about like doing what's right or doing what they believe needs to be done. Um, and Libra is much more of a peacemaker sign. Okay. Um, so it's Libra is the relationship sign. It's a peace loving sign. It wants beauty and harmony and for everybody to work together. And Mars is like, okay, well, like we just need to do what's right and we need to stand up for what's right and we need to like do it now and we need to not let anybody stop us or get in our way. Okay. So these are the two energies. Um, so that just describing that, you may see how this has popped up in your life already. And I will give you an example of how this is manifested in my life just last night. Um, and it's pretty specific to what houses Libra and Mars are in my chart. So basically, we're all experiencing this polarizing energy of Libra and Aries, and essentially trying to like work with both of those energies and come up with the best way to approach whatever situation that we're in. Whether we need to be, some of us lean more towards the energy of Libra, which, healing, love, harmony, getting along with others are important things, but we may be like over catering to other people and thus condoning wrong things by our silence. Um, and then on the other hand, if we're leaning too much towards Aries, we can be aggressive and um, essentially create more division, um, which does not result in solutions to the issues that we care about because we're too busy attacking people. So, balancing these energies, this is kind of like the challenge of this full moon. And for me personally, I have Aries in my second house and Libra in my eighth house. So each house has different topics assigned to it. But to put it very simply, in the way that has manifested for me, Aries is the house of food. And, or for me, the second house is the house that rules the topic of food. And Libra is the house that rules the topics of shared finances or resources, and also sex and intimacy. So that's the prerequisite. So last night, my boyfriend and I got into a 3 hour long argument. He's an Aries sun, by the way. And he also has like Mars and Mercury in Aries. Um, and we were essentially talking about this exact Libra Mars topic, and of just the idea of like your silence condoning things that um, are harmful because you're wanting to like people please. And I was kind of getting defensive about that because I'm more on that end of the spectrum. And so he was essentially calling me out on um, people pleasing to like a harmfully condoning side. And I was pointing out that like I've been judged very harshly in my life, and I never want anybody else to feel that way, to feel that I'm like against them or like judging them and condemning them as a person. So it's really challenging for me to like tell somebody that maybe what they're doing is harmful, and I generally shy away from that. In general, I'm a very non-judgmental person. But he was essentially calling me out on like some instances where I've like uh, essentially supported harmful things because I haven't wanted the person who is making those choices to feel judged. And thus I've like contributed to some harm. So it's a very complicated topic because, of course, we're not responsible for the actions of others. And judging somebody else is not, in many instances, is not like the loving or even the effective way to live our values. But when you are changing the way that you're living just to make somebody else more comfortable, which is something I've been guilty of, then you're leaning more towards the Libra side. So eventually, I got really worked up about this and started talking about veganism, which is interesting because Aries, for me, rules the topic of food. And I realized that I haven't really been living my values because I believe that the dairy industry is horrific, absolutely horrific. And the things that we do to cows in order to um, steal their milk, which is something that's not even good for us, is abominable. And the only reason why we allow it and partake in it and support it with our money is because it's become socially normal and socially acceptable. And so then it becomes like, oh, well, this is normal. Everybody's doing it. I don't want to, for me, it's like, well, I don't want somebody else to feel judged for eating dairy by me not eating dairy. So like not even me actually saying you shouldn't eat dairy to anybody, but just me making the statement that I'm not going to eat dairy because I think that the dairy industry and the way that we um, rob baby cows of their milk is wrong can make other people feel judged and uncomfortable. And because I don't want to make other people feel judged and uncomfortable, I am now no longer living according to my own values. And I'm actually turning my back on what I think is the right thing. Because I'm so like, because it's become like an even too high of a value of not making somebody else feel like called out or uncomfortable. Um, so that's the way that it's played out for me. So, I mean, like a side note would be like just that it got me really, really thinking a lot about um, how wrong the dairy industry is. And I have really significantly reduced my intake of dairy the last couple years, to the point where like most of the time I don't buy dairy products. I'll have like non-dairy milk, and uh, I stopped buying yogurt and things like that. But I still occasionally do eat dairy. I haven't made like a full commitment um, to being anti-dairy, but I realized that, for me personally, that it was time for me to um, like stop eating dairy altogether, because, I realized that the reason why I was still eating dairy was because I didn't want other people to feel judged. So, I don't know. Maybe I can make a separate topic about why I'm anti-dairy,